Hi everyone, my name is Laura and welcome back to Book Bubbler. Well, I have been very neglectful of doing tags. If you have tagged me in something within the last few months, I sincerely apologize. I did not realize that it had been so long and that I was so behind. I think I have 10 tags to do, 9. It's bad. This is my most overdue, not that there's a due date, but you know what I mean. I was tagged in May to do this by Cousin at Always Doing, and this is the Intimidating TBR tag. This was started by nobody knows who anymore. I think it got lost to the ravages, let's try that again, of YouTube time. But I will link Kara at Wild Book Garden, who is also who Cousin linked, that she was an earlier version of it, certainly. So without further ado, let's get cracking. Okay, the first question, a book that's on your TBR pile that you haven't finished. This is laughable. Hi, my name is Laura, and I start way too many books and then don't ever really finish them. This is my current reading pile, and even that is not complete. Yeah, it's bad. So I just pulled one out. It's one of the ones I've been reading the longest, for the longest. It's coming up on a year now. And that would be The Age of Wonder by Richard Holmes. This is nonfiction and covers the mid-1700s into the early 1800s. And it's all about science and the scientists who discovered all sorts of fascinating things. There's hot air ballooning and traveling around the world and understanding quote-unquote natives and astronomy, chemistry. This is a one-stop shop for the age of romance. Is it age of romance? Romantic science? What is it? I don't know. It's really, really good. I really like it. I mean, I'm halfway through. I started this in November, last year, nonfiction November. I was reading an ebook and this copy. There are color illustrations, which is lovely, but I mean, peep this text type. It's really small. This is a big book and it's heavy paper, so I am less inclined to pick it up, so it's just been sitting here waiting. It may get read in November again. I don't know, but this is one of the longer current reads. Yeah. Okay, number 2, a book you just haven't had time to read. Well, that would be all the books ever. But for the sake of this again, I am going to pick the annotated Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. This is my favorite of her books. I've only read 3 of them. I still have not read, obviously, the other half. I've read most of her juvenilia, and no, I have not read Lady Susan. Never mind. So this is my favorite of the ones that I have read. No, I have not read Pride and Prejudice yet. Let's move on. So I was thinking, I have all these editions for all of her books, these big, chunky, annotated ones. This is my reading copy because I also bought a brand new copy because I'm crazy. But the annotations are pretty dumb. Like here's one, Chapter 12, Volume 2. This footnote is for the word understanding, and it means intelligence. Like, yeah. So it's a little, if you know anything about Jane Austen and her time, the time she lived in, it's a little, I don't know, unnecessary, but I do want to get through this and read this again, so that's that. Number 3, a book you haven't read because it's a sequel. Again, see like half of my shelves. But the one that's the most egregious, out of nowhere, super wonky sequel is The Lamourna Wink by Martha Grimes. This is the 16th book in the Richard Jury series. I don't know how or why I have this. It must have been a library book sale book. I can't imagine I would request the 16th book in a series I have never read any book in. But I've heard good things, so I'm going to keep it. hence also why I have so many books. I'm going to hang on to this and eventually try the series out and see what I think. And if I think I'm going to like it, I will keep it. If not, I'll let it go. But this could be here for another decade. It's no one knows. Okay, number 4, a book you haven't read yet because it's brand new. Last week, Friday, it was so wonderful. I went to Barnes & Noble, like into the store shopping. It was glorious. So I bought 4 books plus some magazines, but we'll save that for Friday. So the one that I didn't know was out that totally surprised me and I had to buy is 500 Miles From You by Jenny Colgan. I thought this was only out in the UK currently, but clearly it's out here, and Jenny Colgan is one of my favorite feel-good authors, so very exciting to have this already. Okay, number 5, a book by an author you read previously but didn't really like. I couldn't find one on my shelves. Now, it's the shelves here and the shelves in my living room, which are also TBR shelves. I walked through everything and I pulled out the double stacks and looked just to make sure. I couldn't find anything. There probably is something somewhere that I have an answer for, but right now I don't have an answer for this one. So, number 6, a book on your TBR pile that you're just not in the mood to read. This one, I only have it because people really rave about it. I also have an advanced reader's copy from when I worked at my library in 2014. But I also have then this finished copy of The Bone Clocks by David Mitchell. This weighs a frigging ton. It's decollete pages, which I'm not a fan of. Why do I have 2 copies of this book that I don't really want to read? Clearly, I should just keep the advanced reader's copy and move this one on to someone who will need it, and worst thing I do is recycle the advanced reader's copy or put it in a little free library, you know. I don't know why I don't want to read this, but I just don't want to read this. I feel like I'm supposed to read it and I'm supposed to like it. I also don't know anyone personally who has read this. So if you've read this and you're watching this, please tell me what this is about. If you think I would like it or not, what you thought about it. I would really love to know, because really, I'm not even sure how I got this copy. No idea. It's like book amnesia or something. Okay, a book on your TBR pile that you haven't read because it's enormous. For a long time, I was really afraid of books over 300 pages. And then it was sort of 400. And now it's not the size of the book. It is the book itself, like the subject matter or something. So for this, I'm picking my dust jacketless copy of The Life of Samuel Johnson by James Boswell. This is a 1940, I'm going to say 6 copy. Yep, 1946 by Doubleday with illustrations in it. Let's see if I can find one. Here's one, The Debate at Sir Joshua's. So full color plates in here. The whole thing is slightly foxed, which by the way is a wonderful UK publisher. I really adore their stuff. I don't know why this intimidates me so much, but I'm a little afraid of it. I don't know. Has anyone read this? It seems like a book people would have, but not actively read. Actually, now that I'm talking about this, a few months ago, watched it, probably was last year, but wasn't somebody doing a group read of this? Was it Steve Donahue? I don't know. This is the one. I'm intimidated by it. Okay. A cover by. Book you up for the cover. There's a few of them. It's not the only reason. It might be why I walk over to see the book. If it's face out somewhere or I see a really pretty spine, I might go, oh, what's this? But generally I don't do that. However, what gets me is friggin' Waterstones, man, because they do their own editions. So it's The Dutch House by Ann Patchett. I really like this cover. It's beautiful. I think it's very pretty. But it's got sprayed top and bottom, this blue. This is what made me buy it though. The end. Look at this. I mean, that is beautiful. So it's not exactly a cover buy, but it sort of is. I also knew this was going to be on the BookTube prize list because it was on there somewhere. I think it just fell off in the semifinals, but don't quote me. But I thought, well, I'm doing the prize this year. I'm probably going to have to read it at some point. So shouldn't I just buy this edition anyways? Because I'm going to have to buy it and read it anyways. I mean, And I don't think I'm going to like this book. But, ooh, look. Ooh, I know. I know. Okay, and the last question is the book on your TBR that you find the most intimidating. This is in my basement. I didn't want to troll through the bin to get it. It's on the bottom of a 3-stack bin of very full books, so I'm not doing it. But it's War and Peace, the Pavir and Volkansky translation. I am terrified of War and Peace. I've tried 2 or 3 different times before with buddy reads through various social media platforms. I have done notes ahead of time, research and stuff. Like the last time I tried, I really put an effort in and I marked off daily sections of, I think, 15 pages or something like that. Manageable, you know. And I went through and I made little lists of characters, the main characters, and their nicknames, but there's so many overlaps I got confused. I think the furthest I have gotten into War and Peace is 40 some pages. It intimidates the crap out of me. It's sort of my white whale, but I also, Moby Dick would be on there too. I don't own a copy of Moby Dick though, so that's, you know, whatever. But yeah, that's one I find most intimidating for sure, War and Peace. Rainy, if you're watching this, you read this. Were you scared to read this? It just terrifies me. So that's the whole tag. So for me to tag people now, I'm going to tag, and I apologize ahead of time if you have already done this tag and I didn't see it on your channel. I just did a quick scroll through and I didn't notice it jumping out at me, so no pressure. But I'm going to tag Stella at 30 books. She is wonderful. She's Australian. She wants to support Australian writers and Australian lit. That's her whole, not her whole thing, but that's the basis of her thing. And her channel is delightful. She is so fun and quirky and well-read, and she's really wonderful. So Stella at 30 books. Then I'm tagging Berna at Berna's Bookish Adventures. Berna is so nice. Berna is Turkish and she does a Turkish word of the day. She just posted a video from her holiday home where she's on vacation, and she did a bunch of pie charts this last one, like different parts of the book that, you know, it was just really delightful. So go check out Berna's channel. And then, like the newest of all the newbies, Kristen at Kristen is Reading. Kristen started her channel within the last week. Not kidding. Today is August 11th, I want to say, 10th or 11th. It's the 10th. It'll go up on the 11th. I think she started last week. She's so nice. She already knows how to edit. She's way ahead of me. But she reads a lot of nonfiction. It's super interesting, fascinating stuff. And a lot of stuff that she has talked about so far, which is quite a few books. My gosh, she's a reader. It's either stuff I really want to read, it's on my shelves already, or I want to get a copy. Really, really great. So go check out Kristen. And of course, if you want to do this tag, consider yourself tagged too. It's been around for a little while and it keeps making rounds and sporadically. So if you want to do this one, please feel free. It was a lot of fun. All right, that's it for me. I hope you guys are all doing well and staying safe, and I will see you very shortly in the next one. Bye.